Threshold question. Do you think it's appropriate for President Trump to ask China and Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden?
George, you really think he was serious about thinking that China's going to investigate the Biden family?
He said it right there in public.
I think he's getting, as I think Senator Rubio said a couple days ago, I think he's getting the press all spun up about this. Remember, this is the president who's been tougher on China than any other president. He wants to make sure China quits stealing America's intellectual property. He wants to make sure they start abiding by international trade norms. And tougher than anyone. He's put tariffs on China. And you really think he says, oh, the same guy who's been tougher on China now thinks, oh, China's going to investigate the Biden? He was just making a statement to just underscore how wrong it is what took place here with Hunter Biden getting these deals that he got. That's all he's doing.
So the president asked China to investigate. We're not supposed to take the president at his word?
I think Senator Rubio said it best. This is the president. You guys would think after 3.5 years, you would, with the campaign and everything else, you'd figure out some of the ways that this guy's...
He said in public the exact same thing he said in private to the Ukrainian president. But I still haven't gotten an answer to the question. Is it appropriate for the president to ask China to investigate Joe Biden?
I think he's got you guys all spun up, and obviously it's the case. You've asked me the question. You've asked me the question like 4 times. I've answered
because you haven't answered it.
I don't think he really meant go investigate. Do you think China's going to investigate him?
I don't know if China's going to investigate him. I know the president asked China to investigate.
We know they're not, George. Come on.
Why can't you answer yes or no? Do you think it's appropriate?
I don't, because I don't think that's what he did. I don't think that's what he did.
But it was right there on camera.
I think Senator Rubio had it exactly right. I think our side says this is exactly what I think most Americans say. This is exactly what the president was doing. You would think after, like I said, a few years of following this president, you would understand sort of how this guy communicates. I think that's what he's doing.
You're still not answering the question. If the president is asking China to investigate, which he did right there, is that appropriate? Is that an abuse of power, or is that appropriate?
I think when the president is, and this is why it relates to Ukraine, I think when the president is trying to make sure that there is not corruption, that if we're going to be sending the hard-earned tax dollars of the American people to Ukraine to help them fight Russia, to help them get their country moving in the direction they need, to get the security assistance they need, I think he believes that we should make sure there's not corruption there.
This is Jim Jordan carrying water for Trump amid the latest effort to conspire with a foreign power, this time asking China to investigate Joe Biden. And his excuse is so absurd that even the White House isn't standing behind this one. That by Trump going on national television and asking China to investigate Biden, he didn't actually want China to interfere. He was just trying to get a rise out of the media. And this claim initially came from Marco Rubio.
I don't know if that's a real request or him just needling the press, knowing that you guys were going to get outraged by it. He's pretty good at getting everybody fired up, and he's been doing that for a while, and the media responded right on task. I don't think it's a real request. I think he did it to gig you guys. I think he did it to provoke you to ask me and others and get outraged by it. Like I said, I mean, he plays it like a violin and everybody falls right into it, but that's not a real request.
Now, notwithstanding the fact that you could literally see Rubio losing the remainder of his dignity in real time, that he would actually expect anyone to believe that it was all just part of Trump's hilarious comedy set is insulting. Especially considering Trump's already done it before. He asked Russia on national television to hack Hillary Clinton's emails. And then that same night, Russia attempted for hours to hack email accounts used by Clinton's personal office and targeted 76 email addresses at the domain for the Clinton campaign, according to a 29-page indictment against 12 Russian intelligence operatives by the DOJ. He withheld U.S. military aid to Ukraine until he got a promise by Ukrainian President Zelensky to investigate Biden. So to suggest that it was all just one epic joke, when there are at least 2 occasions where he did the same thing, and those countries actually came through, where they proved that it was unequivocally not a joke, is ridiculous even for Jim Jordan. And by the way, even Trump isn't pretending that he was joking. He admitted it wasn't a joke on Twitter, saying, "Somebody please wake up Mitt Romney and tell him that my conversation with the Ukrainian president was a congenial and very appropriate one, and my statement on China pertained to corruption, not politics." In other words, he was serious. His excuse is laughable, that him looking to open an investigation into a matter that has already been investigated and adjudicated was somehow legitimate, but the point is that he meant what he said, that he wasn't just joking about it. But worse is that the US will be meeting with China in the coming days for trade talks. So if you don't think Trump would be willing to grant concessions to China in exchange for the promise of an investigation, then you're kidding yourself. I mean, he's done it before, withholding $250 million in military aid to Ukraine until he got the promise of an investigation into Biden, before releasing not only the $250 million, but another $140 million that even Ukrainian President Zelensky didn't expect. In other words, he's able to put a price on this dirt, and it's clearly worth a lot to him. And even better, it's not even his own money. It's US taxpayer dollars. There's literally nothing he likes more than spending other people's money to help himself. But the craziest part is that Jim Jordan is actually sticking with this whole corruption defense when the method that Trump used to supposedly root it out was corrupt in and of itself. Trump leveraged taxpayer-funded military aid on a promise for a foreign country to investigate an American citizen for the express purpose of interfering in the 2020 election. To be unequivocally clear, that is corrupt. So let's not pretend that Trump is pursuing this noble cause, that he's gonna be our savior from corruption when he was glaringly corrupt in this very instance. The fact is, this defense, along with every other baseless justification we've heard from the right, are nothing more than the desperate flailings of a party trying to defend the indefensible. Of course, that doesn't matter for Jim Jordan, who's clearly performing for an audience of one, but the rest of the country can see firsthand just how ridiculous the GOP looks in their desperation to protect a criminal.